Got to take attendance. Thank you. Just get my attendance sheet. Okay. So we have Norm
Here.
and Mike Coombs is not. Malcolm,
Here.
Mike DeBay,
Here.
Dick Randall's here. Scotty is not here. Karen,
Yeah.
Deb,
Here.
Eric,
Here.
and Paul.
I'm here.
Okay, we got attendance.
And Jerry Patry is here too.
Jerry Patrick, I got him logged in. Okay. And let's, if it's all right with everybody, let's jump to Concom so Norm can leave.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna approve the minutes, Dick, or no?
You want to quick do the minutes?
Takes 2 secs.
Okay. I know Mike found a couple of,
I had 2 comments, Dick. I can
Yeah.
read them to you. I sent them to you on an email. If you
Yeah.
can't find it, I can resend it.
yeah, okay,
The only 2 comments I had was you had me down as not being there. You had me down as absent. And
okay,
I know I was there. I was on the video. I checked it. And you have me down listed for a seconding different motions. Can't have me absent and seconding at the same time. That doesn't work.
no, that doesn't work.
The other thing is I had volunteered to go to Lee to run samples up there. I believe Norm did also. It wasn't in there, so I figured I'd just let you know.
Okay,
That's all I had.
all right, it's minor tweaks. So I'll fix those because they're in writing. And if everybody's okay with that,
Yep.
I have a motion to accept.
I'll make that,
Who was that?
Paul.
Paul, okay. And
Dick,
a
this
second,
is Mike. I'll second it to accept them with the changes.
yeah, Mike D with changes, yeah. And all in favor,
Aye.
opposed, abstain,
Deb
Unanimous.
abstained. She wasn't there.
Huh?
I abstained because I wasn't there.
oh, okay. Unanimous, Deb. Not there.
What's that?
That wasn't me.
Okay, and let me go down. Norm,
Aye.
aye. Malcolm,
Aye.
Mike, DeBay,
Aye.
Dick Randall's aye. Scotty's not here. Deb, you abstained. Eric
Aye.
and Paul.
Aye.
Okay, affirmed, done. Okay,
There
so
you
we
go.
can go to, do we have any public comments? Well, quickly, I don't think so, because
Oh,
we
no.
only have us. No public comments? Okay, so we can move to Concom. Norm, you're up.
Yeah. There was an RDA submitted by 188 Berkshire Avenue for the removal of 5 trees within the 100-foot line. And it was approved, and they will be replaced with trees that are of similar native trees.
Mhm.
That's all I have. I don't know if Jerry's got anything he wants to add.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had.
Okay.
An item.
That was easy. Master Plan Subcommittee, Norm, you said you wanted to wait so you can put together the next segment.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't have time to work on that. But I'll double up next time.
Okay,
We're planning on a planning board presentation pretty soon,
okay,
and then at the town meeting on the 16th, we're gonna have a table outside the auditorium,
oh, good, good,
and that's it.
all right.
Best wishes, Norm.
Thank you, and I'm gonna
Yes.
sign off. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Aye.
All right. So now we can go back to the agenda. And let's see, first up, CRC update.
Okay, we had a meeting Tuesday night. Michelle's on vacation, but she zoomed in and ran the meeting. We had First Selectman Russ Fox come in at the end. He was at another meeting. We had Colin Mall speak. He mentioned that because they got an estimate for Babs to bring it up to code was gonna be $10 million. They're not gonna be doing it this month. I wanted to ask if that's the only bid they got.
You ask them next month, okay?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe
Get a
they'll have
rich
a bake,
uncle.
maybe they'll have a bake sale. Anyway, let's see, who else?
Harbor
We
Master.
had, go ahead, Jer.
I was just gonna mention the Harbor Master also spoke about quite
Right.
a few things.
Sheriff, Harbor Master,
Yep, Sheriff/Harbor Master.
yeah. And he said we were gonna get help from Chief Cochee to, they
Yeah,
would,
Sheriff. Yeah,
Sheriff Cochee, sorry. And they would have the power to write tickets, et cetera, this year, unlike last year, which you guys probably already know about.
yeah, and they actually, the select board did approve that at their meeting the other night. Because that was an act that they had to do.
It was good attendance. Jen brought in 2 giant pizzas for everybody, which I thought was nice. That was about it. There was a couple of questions, Dick, for the buoys that CRC is gonna pay for, buoys and lights, whatever. Do you have to pay tax on that? Because we could buy them.
We do not
tax-free.
pay tax, we do not pay tax on anything.
Okay, good. That answers that. Also, I chatted with a woman from West Suffield who said she spent the winter working with the water department in West Suffield, et cetera, because she was tired of hearing people say that seepage was coming from the septic tanks along the West Suffield side. So she put together this a bunch of information, and I asked her to bring it to me so I could share it with you guys, because
Yeah,
I thought there'd be some value in that.
yeah.
She did say that some of the septic tanks are under roads over there.
Calling me surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, wanted to know if you would be willing to speak via Zoom to CRC some evening?
Like your next meeting maybe, or?
Yeah. Second Tuesday of the month.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, great. And one other thing, December 9th is the Christmas party. We're planning ahead here.
Wow.
Just a little.
But we
How
had,
about next Easter? You got that one booked?
we got the bunny booked.
Okay,
Bunny's holding up a little sign, going to jail. She's booked.
great.
Now,
Okay,
that's about it. We had great attendance. There was good back and forth with Colin and with Russ Fox. And of course, the chief.
And Mass Wildlife, Liz from the Mass Wildlife kind of gave a report stating what her position was too. They're kind of the stewards of the conservatorship and our conservation land. And she basically just read a statement, but she was there too.
Right, thank you.
Good.
That's it.
okay. And I think that gets us to, let me just check my list here. That gets us to 141 Congamon Road. So you have a copy. I sent it out early, and then you've got it in this package, but I had sent it out about a week ago, I think, for everybody to read. A little disappointed in, this is the, what do you call it, Mass DEP as their tunnel vision on right now. And we only do water, and we only do water right next to the shore. And, you know, a whole bunch of clauses on what they can look at and can't look at. So at any rate, it leaves some things up in the air. If you read it, the docks are still 150 feet long.
Yeah.
Their claim is that that does not interfere with anything. They being Chrissy Hops representing the Mass DEP waterways. And also that they can have up to, I think it was 49 now boats. I don't know how it got to 49.
But, well, that was 49 total, included for a total of 49, including temporary and permanent.
What was that? I missed. I couldn't understand that.
So the what it is a total of 49,
Yeah,
temporary and permanent combined.
right. But I
So
thought there
we-
were only supposed to be 40 spaces.
Yeah, well, their documentation says 49.
Hmm.
So
Eric, I
so-
got a question for you. I know what you just said, but when you count the spots on the dock, there's only 40.
I know, I'm saying
Okay.
the document from them says 49.
Yep.
And the document from them says that up to 1,999 square feet of dock can remain year-round. Anything above 1,999 square feet covering the water needs to be removed seasonally and stored at the high water mark.
So I'll go back and review. It sounds like some of you already looked at the drawing. I had looked at it before, unless that drawing changed, it had 40 spaces.
Yeah, it does, but the words from the chapter 91 words say 49.
I understand. And,
Yep.
and I don't know how they grew those extra 9 spaces.
I don't either. I'm just saying what the words say. Don't know
Yep.
why, that's what the words say.
Yeah. I guess we should,
Incidentally, hang on,
Yeah.
that 49, they were quite specific. It includes all watercraft, including canoes, kayaks, jet ski. They delineated everything, and they even spelled out kayaks, canoes, jet skis. So the 49 count is for absolutely all watercraft,
right.
be they
We have 40
powered or not.
spaces.
Pardon?
They only have 40 spaces, so
Yeah,
I think out of this, and we should send an email back to Chrissy saying how come, why, explain,
right.
right?
Is it possible it's a typo?
Well, I'm wondering, because the 0 and the 9 are nearby,
Right.
Absolutely.
Right, so we should ask.
Actually, that's probably a good way to pose it,
Right,
Why
right,
don't I do that? I'll just pose it as, is there a typo?
right.
Because there are only 40 spaces. How do you cram 49 boats into 40 spaces? Don't fit.
Where'd the extra 9 come from?
Yeah, right. Okay. And they still, now they did not say anything about being contingent upon having parking, which is in the planning board special permit. They have to have the additional 10 parking spaces. And the number 10 comes out of the formula that they came up with, was 1 parking space for every 2 boats, which is kind of strange because that's not anywhere near what we see at the ramps. It's more like 1.5 is probably the average. And sometimes you'll see 3 vehicles, 1 that's towing the boat plus 2 more carloads of people, especially when it's pontoons. That's just reality. So I'm not sure how they got 1 for every 2, kind of strange.
Yep.
So at any rate, I will send, I don't think we need to vote on that. I'll just send is this a typo? Because it doesn't follow, okay? Everybody
Sounds
happy with
good.
that?
Yes.
All right, so then there were a few other things. The 150 feet protrusion into the lake, not a problem is the way they put it. And again, if you do the 300 feet, 150 feet from the ends of there, it takes you beyond the other side of the culvert. And there's really no place to go on that would be the east side, because that's really, really shallow in there. That's where all the weeds, the cattails and everything are. So that's kind of a tough area to sit. Plus you're in the wrong direction to try and make it through the hole. So I don't know whether we can challenge that. Supposedly the draft becomes permanent and the challenging process is very difficult, which kind of doesn't make sense. What would you like to do? There's a couple of, I guess let's go through the couple other things. There was no mention of removing docks December 1st. However, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but there is a mention of removing docks.
Did you find it explicit?
Yeah, so what it said was that up to 1,999 feet of water can be covered by docks year round. Any coverage in excess of 1,999 feet, basically 2,000 feet,
Square feet. Yeah.
Square feet needs to be removed seasonally and stored above the high water mark. So that dock design, I believe, will well exceed 2,000 square feet. So quite a bit of it will have to be removed seasonally.
Didn't they also say that it could not exceed 2,000 square feet?
No, that was my first read, but then I read more carefully,
Okay.
and it's that
Right.
the year-round part cannot exceed 2,000 square feet, 1,999 square feet.
Right.
But not that all of it couldn't exceed that.
But I believe Concom in the order of conditions, and I sent that back to Sabrina this morning. The Concom order of conditions says the docks have to be out by December 1st.
Even
Okay.
chapter 91? That was my
But that-
question too.
Because there was a notice of intent filed,
Yeah.
they put that in the conditions for the notice of intent.
I do remember that as being contingent upon, but
So that,
now that they have their own chapter 91, does that mean they don't have, which rules do we follow?
Was part of the license because of the alteration of the waterfront. So you had to have a notice of intent filed.
so
So the
the,
notice of intent would supersede, and that's what even Chrissy said, we can't put that in ours. And I don't buy that because they have many times. I think
So
it's a
what-
cop out.
so the exact words in the chapter 91 is that the total area of floats maintained in the waterway on a year-round basis shall not exceed 1,999 square feet. All floats in excess of that area shall be removed from the waterway seasonally. All seasonal structures removed from the water shall be stored landward of the high water mark on the uplands and in conformance with the applicable local, state, or federal requirements.
And what paragraph was that?
This is number 4. So there's special waterways license conditions.
Okay,
And condition number 4 is that one. Condition number 3 is the 49. It's not a typo because they actually spell out the words 49 and
Oh
then
my
have a
God.
parenthetical 49 after it. So it's not a typo.
well, they're gonna still have to explain that. one.
Yes, I'm just saying, when you ask, it can't be a typo. Because it was written both in words and in numerals.
Maybe they're figuring you can fit more than one boat at a slip.
Well, I don't know, maybe they're figuring that since they're counting canoes and kayaks, you can
Yeah.
or something, whatever. We should just ask. We don't
Yeah.
have to make it up. We'll ask them.
Yeah.
And of course, they say that you can't violate the CMR.
Right,
In a number of places, they say, whatever you do has to be in compliant with 310 CMR 9.0.
yeah. So, now the other issue that came up, which is on pages, let's see, wait a minute, I just had one here. Order 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. That there's a plan shown, and that plan means that they are going to have to remove the granite curbing, part of it. Going to have to remove all of the Cape Cod berm, and they are going to move that towards the pavement on Congamon Road, leaving 3 feet of area between backs of those curbs. You cannot fit an ADA compliant sidewalk in 3 feet. It's 5 feet minimum, unobstructed. So, and you can't count walking on either a bituminous curb or a granite curb. That does not count as part of the sidewalk per ADA. So that's that. I think we need to get that in front of the select board. They already know about that. I've been keeping them up to speed with what it will mean, because it will negate putting a sidewalk there to the Connecticut line, which that's on a curve. It's not, that's a dangerous curve. And to have people walking in the road, and now they'll have to walk in the road because they can't even walk on the grass. It won't be there. Because when you park a car, a vehicle can hang up to overhang up to 3 feet beyond the face of the granite curb or the, what do you call it? The Cape Cod berm. So that means there's only 2 feet left, because the drawing shows it 5 feet face to face. So that leaves 2 feet. And, you know, you can't have people balancing and you know, when you got vehicles sticking into that area. So I think we need to send something to the select board from us, reminding them about that.
Yeah.
Because the intent was to be able to carry a sidewalk to the sidewalk that was installed when the culvert was installed, and tie those in and go right to the Connecticut line. Because there's subdivisions on that side, a lot of houses on that side. So what are the thoughts? You know, I'm throwing it.
Yeah, I agree, Dick. And of course, you know, look, it's not lost on us that if you can't put those spaces there, then you don't have the 10 spaces for the marina. You know, so certainly that's not lost on us. But I think the point you're making is that as designed, we will not be able to be compliant with ADA, you know, with federal ADA, because you can't have an ADA compliant sidewalk there.
Right, so you can't put one there.
Right.
So that means, and if we were to later go back and take back what's town land, you know, they're basically
Right.
giving away the use of town land. We have to spend town funds to restore it. That's not right.
Dick, this is Mike. I got a question for you. I agree with where you're going on that. The only question I got is the chapter 91 gonna sit there and say, that's not chapter 91 stuff, that's town
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Wash their
okay.
hands of the thing.
No, that's
Right.
okay, because this has to do with the select board licensing the use of town land. That's what it is all about.
Okay,
So, you know, and that has a whole process, and it does not appear that that process was followed. When you're going to do something with public land, that's what that is. It's public land.
yeah.
Westfield got in a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah, so I
Your
guess.
neighbor would say, here, you can have the land.
So I guess your suggestion is that we should just, I mean, we're not the board to say anything about it. We're not a board at all.
No.
But the Lake Management Committee is not the one to say anything about it. I think you're just saying that we should flag it and ask the select board to take a look, because
Right.
it appears that if the design is permitted to move forward as it stands, it'll be non-compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And further, it will create a situation where if the town then wants to make it compliant, the town then has to spend town money to undo
What was done? Yeah,
what is being done by a private individual on town property.
right. It also would drive people to walk in the road unnecessarily.
Right, on a
Because right now,
dangerous
they can at
curve,
least walk on grass.
right,
you
on a
know.
dangerous curve and, which presents the concern of, does the town wind up with a liability if someone is injured or worse because they're walking on the road because the town allowed a design that made it impossible to have a sidewalk there.
That's an excellent point. I think we need to add that. Right?
Right,
Just like he said it.
Yeah. Can, between us, so we can, because we need to vote on this to send it out. Everybody comfortable with Eric and I penning that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
And I think we got all the thoughts behind it. So, hold on a minute, I just gotta find a place to write this in. Okay, so we have a motion, somebody make a motion to send an email or a letter, we'll do an email, to SB Select Board.
Come on, Bailey.
so we want to make that motion?
Come on, Bailey. Move it.
Somebody,
Somebody's talking. Who's talking?
I don't know, somebody.
I'll
was
make the
talking.
motion. I was muted. Sorry about that.
Welcome.
Okay.
And a second,
Dick, I'll second it. Mike DeBay.
Mike, all right, and, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Unanimous? And let me go run down the list. Gotta do it. Okay, we don't have Norm right now. And we have Malcolm,
Aye.
Mike DeBay,
Aye.
Dick Granel's aye. Scotty's not here. Deb,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye,
Paul.
Aye.
Okay, it is confirmed, unanimous. Affirmed. Okay. The next thing that, let me see. I want to make sure I didn't leave anything out on that subject. I don't think so. Okay. The couple other issues on 141, the stormwater. Randy Brown said that it's okay the way it is. And this is because the stormwater from a private facility is sent into our town stormwater system. And I can't say as I agree with that, but he's not willing to go challenge it.
Yep.
Wow.
Was that the illegal hookup?
Yeah,
They won't
Wow.
change it? Wow.
Yep.
Was that the issue with this, with all the smell they had down there when I was driving through last summer? When after all those rainstorms? Remember there were all kinds of people down there because of the smells, or was that the other system? Remember was that the sewer that leaked into
it
the
was
lake?
the sewer that they had all, and that comes up next. So the sewer, they have a plan finally, an engineered plan. And they are going to have just 2 pumps. They're gonna use the lower chamber that was used before to pump effluent from the basement area, the lower level where the restrooms
Yeah.
are,
Yep.
to the upper tank. So what they're going to do is eliminate the upper tank. They're going to send this, to me, doesn't make a lot of sense, but they're going to repipe everything that is upstairs and aim it to this tank downstairs.
Okay.
And that's all because they don't want to have 2 sets of pumps, because right now, there are 2 sets of pumps. There's a pair of pumps in the larger tank. It's, I think, a 5,000 gallon tank up top. And there's 1 pump in the lower level tank, which is 1,000 or 1,100 gallons. It's small. So they finally got a real design. They've got all the pump curves. They've got everything defined. and all that, and the alarms and so on. So at least now we have something on paper that's stamped. Before, it was a cartoon, literally. And you could have put anything in. You know, you could have taken a sump pump out of your garage and said, I'm going to use to pump sewage.
1,000-gallon tank is parallel with that.
Say again?
1,000-gallon tank is puny.
It is, and that's what I said.
Dick, those tanks, are those old tanks or new tanks they're putting in?
Old.
Like original tanks from 40 years ago?
1,000-gallon.
Yeah. And it
My
was
house-
just, we don't even know, part of what we've asked for is what is the configuration of that tank? We don't know, because it's got a long, in order to get down to it, it's a pretty good vertical drop to the sump, because the top of it comes up high on the land there. So we don't know, there's a lot we don't know about that tank. And all it was for originally was for the 2 restrooms downstairs.
Now they're putting everything through it. Okay.
So Dick, when they get this all put together, this design they got, they're gonna be tested again, right?
That's what we've asked for. Right. Yes. We also want dye checks again.
Yeah.
Jerry, is this anything the sewer committee could look into?
Well, they are connected to the sewer. So I believe that we're talking about, you know, the sump pumps and the runoff from the roof
Yeah.
and things like that.
We
Because
go into the lake.
the effluent basically goes through the sewer system. It gets pumped to Westfield, but there's other things involved with how they're doing it. And I think that's what we're talking about here.
Yes. And also their size of their grease trap.
Yeah. It's
Which
a
is-
little tricky. It's tricky. They have a pretty complicated little system. And some of it is old,
Yes.
which is that's why they connected to the sewers. So it eliminated at
Right.
least that part of it.
Good point.
Don't they have to pay to connect to the sewers like we did?
Oh, yeah,
Connection to the
Commercial.
sewer
commercially.
was done by Joe on a weekend.
Yeah, did it? Yeah.
He said he did. No.
Well, you needed
oversight.
a licensed drain layer to do it. And
Yeah. And he
back
did.
then, the commercial people had to hook themselves up. The homeowners were free.
Right.
And it passed, because somebody inspected it.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Wow.
It was a weekend job.
I
Wow.
see. Okay.
So, I mean, I think that's still a problem. And there's one other problem has not been addressed. There is a sump pump reportedly a sump pump on the southwest corner that was installed by Joe, because I spoke with the original owner, with Tryon Cody. It was his family that owned that facility. He grew up in that building. Actually, the smaller building that's on the northern end was a house. And then it got joined to what's now the restaurant. So the part that was the ice cream and whatnot that was on that end, that was his house.
Hmm.
And he said that the basement, the lower level of the main building, always had 3 to 4 inches of water in it, even when they sold it. So they never used it. They never used the basement for anything. So he remembers that between 1982 and 1984, and he can't pin it down exactly, but Joe asked him to come over, and he was down there and he saw the perimeter drain that was put in the interior of the building and tied into a sump pump, and there's no idea where that sump pump goes.
Oh, boy.
And it cannot go into the sewer, it cannot go into the stormwater, and it can't go into the lake. So where does it go?
Into a sandy soil,
Yeah.
God.
right on the
Yeah.
water. Yeah.
You can no longer, gray water, and that's the problem with what do you call it? Pumps like that, is that it's considered gray water because it's undetermined what's being
Right.
pumped.
It's not effluent.
It's not, yeah. So, and you can no longer, you used to be able to have a dry well in your yard for your washing machine.
Mhm.
And you can't do that anymore.
No.
Because that's gray water.
Yeah.
So the DEP changed the laws on that. So, this, I don't know how they're gonna fix this one. So I think we have to stay on top of it. And all I can do is keep you abreast of what's going on. And it's gotta get investigated. And the building inspector said he is going to go there with the plumbing inspector and go to where Tryon says that is located in that corner of the building. And it's right next to the exit, by the way, the exit from the lower level
Okay.
way. So he described right to basically go over and point,
Mhm. Okay, that's good though.
Yeah.
Interesting, very interesting.
So I think we have to stay, that's one we gotta stay on top of. I don't think there's much else. I will just keep pecking away at it and if that's what you want me to do, unless we want another letter.
No, keep pecking away at it. I think you gotta just keep going.
Yeah. Everybody happy with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So, the next item up for bid was 159 Berkshire Avenue. And we actually have a design there. And that, I'm reviewing it. John, who's our stormwater guy, and Randy are all reviewing it. So the three of us are reviewing it right now. And the first one that the engineer that's doing this put out was a cartoon, had no substance whatsoever, no calculations, just says, run, do this. So in the package that you have on page 25 is an email that I sent posing the questions about the issues that I see, and you may have some other ones that you want to chime in on. I can follow up with another email, but if you look at page 25,
Mhm.
and that was, I can quickly summarize it. Because there's a few issues that are still outstanding. And the claim, they didn't account for, it does not appear that they accounted for the flows from whence all this water starts, which is over on Sheep Pasture Road. There's what's called a water course. That is a DEP specific, it's also an EPA term, and it's used to identify flowable, small stream flows. And this thing starts over on the houses that are on Sheep Pasture Road and the houses across the street from Sheep Pasture Road. So the ones that are on the east and west sides. And then it also includes the flow from the ponds that are on Edgewood and the grounds, because there's a lot of flow from grass that is mowed tight, everything that's under there, it doesn't absorb like an open field would. So it's all that, then it comes down, goes under the railroad, then it goes along and it picks up water from 159, from a lot of areas that he's cleared and buildings added. So that water gets added to it. And then it goes, makes it heading now south, and then it bends to the east, goes under Berkshire Avenue and on into our detention pond. And that's what happened back in 2019, is it sent a cascade of muddy water from that whole thing into the detention pond. So the detention pond now has, 1.5 foot of silt in it, courtesy of what came from upstream. So, commented on a few things about the calculations. They got to make sure that their stormwater calculations address 100-year storm, not occasional little sprinkle. And how are they going to take care of that? How are they going to manage it? they're talking about building a detention pond. That has to be permitted. When we did the one across the street, that took a lot of permitting, a lot of analysis and a lot of permits to be able to build that. And the outfall that goes into Congamon, which is a bleed off. It's not, it doesn't send much water at all. And it goes through a grass swale, ours does, before it exits the land. So none of that's being addressed. And they're talking about Gabion baskets. They're not talking about how much water behind it and how high those have to be to contain what size storm. So I think there's still homework to be done. And we'll just stay on it. The good news is that John Goddard and Randy and myself are going through that, picking through it, and holding the designer's feet to the fire.
What's the owner's objective in doing all this work?
They have to, well, it used to be a defined stream bed, and it was, and it had, what do you call it, the wetlands around in it.
Mhm.
And it also had lots of rooted masses in it, so it didn't wash mud into the lake. And
Mhm.
what happened was all that was stripped, all the trees were removed, and now there wasn't a blade of grass there for almost a year.
Yeah, I understand. What is his
Why?
objective? What is it he's trying to do?
Exactly.
Nobody knows what he was trying to do. He just plays with equipment. He's got all kinds of equipment. So he goes down, he cuts down trees. The other thing is we don't even know if that dam that was built, all those trees disappeared. They were, and nobody recalls ever seeing any of them removed from the land. But behind number 159, 173, I think it is, the next house from the driveway going to 159, there's a huge mound back there, and there's trees sticking out of it. So our suspicion is that down below, a lot of the trees that were down below got buried in that dam. So you got something that's gonna rot.
Mhm.
And we wanted to have them do ground penetrating radar to prove that it's either solid or it's full of trees and stumps. And it's illegal to bury either.
Mhm.
So, and that's the problem. If that thing rots, it's exactly what happened in North Pond. Is they had that little dam on the northwestern corner, and it failed in the hurricane of 55 and blew it all out. So, I think we got to stay on this one.
Okay.
And if I get any more, I'll email it to you all.
Okay.
That kind of takes care of, I think, 159, getting dry here. Let me see, what else have we got? Bathymetric, excuse me, bathymetric mapping by EPA is going to be starting. We're gonna have a meeting this Friday coming.
As in
Yes.
tomorrow?
Yeah,
right?
and so, excuse me, so at 4:00, we're doing a Microsoft Teams meeting.
Oh, no, that's not tomorrow. That is
Week
Tuesday.
after,
It's Tuesday. Tuesday, the 18th,
okay,
4 p.m.
yeah, I got it circled here, Tuesday, the 18th, you're right.
4 p.m.
4 p.m. So Eric and I and Ken Wagner and who else? And if there's anybody else interested, you can certainly join in.
Ugh.
So it's at 4:00, and if you're interested, send me an email and I'll forward the email. So what this is to define where we want the corings taken and what tests should be run on those cored muck samples. So how deep, what locations, and what is the material tested for? And that's why we have Ken on, Eric, and myself to make sure that we, between us all, we hopefully can determine, because they're very willing. These guys,
Yeah, basically, this is we're also going to get an updated bathymetric map.
Yes,
But this is also a precursor to, to the objective of getting the ability to do limited dredging in coves.
yeah,
To remove muck from the coves, remove that source of phosphorus and nitrogen from the lake system.
because the aluminum sulfate it's ineffective in the shallow areas because of wave action and whatnot.
Yeah, so if we can get that stuff out of there, that will be good for the water quality. And a number of years ago, we did some corings. We didn't follow a prescribed. We were just trying to get an idea. We weren't trying to get started with it. So just while Ken was doing corings, we had him do some additional ones, and those all looked good. So if these look good, the thing that's important is that then that would mean that the stuff that's taken out can go right into soil reclamation. And we certainly we certainly have lots of farmers around here who would probably appreciate material like that to improve the fertility of their soil.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because otherwise you got to pay to get rid of it if it's hazardous.
Right. So the corings, and it's quite prescribed what things you have to test for. But when we looked quite a few years ago, we did corings in, I think, 12 locations, and everything looked quite good. Our goo was good goo.
Right. Good black goo. So, so the next thing is,
Dick,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Tuesday at 4, and if somebody wants to attend, send you an email.
yes, send me an email and I'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. It'd be good if you're on, because then you could have that information for CRC too, I did send it to Michelle.
Okay,
The information, but if you're talking to her, she's not on tonight. If she wants to get on too, I'll be happy to send her the link.
I just sent her an email on that.
Okay. Thank you.
So, yeah, if you'd send me an email with the link, that'd be great.
Well, send me one requesting, because
Okay, I will request it.
yep. That way I'll just attach it.
Mhm.
Okay, the next thing is on pages 29 and 30. Karen, Karen Schutt, our secretary / ramp supervisor, she gets the beach position that she also occupies, beach supervisor, up the ante and pay $18 an hour. And so, to my way of thinking, we're paying our ramp attendants $16 an hour, which is what we voted on several meetings ago, and that we should match what is paid by the beach, so it's consistent. She's supervising people there, excuse me, supervising people here.
Okay.
So my recommendation is that we increase it to $18. We make that recommendation to the select board. We can't increase it. We make the recommendation.
What do we
Okay.
need, Dick? A vote on it? Is that what you're
Motion
telling
and-
us?
Yeah, need a motion from somebody to recommend
I'll make a
that.
motion that we raise her rate to 18, so it's consistent with what Parks and Rec is doing for the beach and make it
Yeah.
easier for everybody.
Yep,
I'll second that, Eric, here.
that's Eric, okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Unanimous? I got a quick go through. You know the drill. Malcolm,
Aye.
Mike DeBay,
Aye.
Dick Reynolds, aye. Deb,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
okay. Confirmed, affirmed. Okay, Rick Wylot, page 31. He rescinded his resignation. Rick is back.
Yay!
So without further ado, what I'd like to do, since we had a motion to accept his resignation, I'd like to have a motion to accept his rescinding of his resignation.
I'll make the
I'll-
motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Who seconded?
I would.
Paul,
Yep.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Abstain? Unanimous? Could have guessed that one. And I'll go down. Again, Malcolm,
Aye.
Mike DeBay,
Aye.
Dick Granel's aye. Deb,
Aye.
Eric,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
affirmed. All right, we're done with that one. Moving along. The buoys, Rick said he will continue installing the buoys. He needs help though when they get removed, and I really understand because he did hurt his back last year. And they could be anywhere
Somebody's
from
cutting out. I can't hear you guys.
Whoever's talking, yeah, you can't hear.
When they come out, they weigh 30 to 50% more than when they go in because they absorb water in that foam. And it took
Uh-oh.
people on the to shore.
You're cutting
So
out,
he's just
Dick.
looking, when we take him out, yeah, he's looking for help when they remove the buoys.
Dick, why can't we get
On the shore.
DPW to get a machine down there? Can you hear me? Why can't we get a
We
machine from
it's
DPW down
moving
there to lift them out?
For the get that storm.
So Dick, you're breaking up a lot.
You
Yeah,
You're
just
breaking up a lot. So I think I've spoken with Rick about this.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not just a matter of getting a machine down there when you're taking them out. It's even just pulling them, just handling them to get them over to boat launch.
Okay,
They're really heavy, and I think he hurt himself last year doing it.
you know what we could do is with a machine is we could use a machine with a cable and let the machine drag them over to the grass. How about
Yeah,
that?
That's fine, but I think there's an issue just when you go and you get them out in the middle of the lake somewhere. They're hard to handle.
They're very heavy. I did it for years with Legault, and I did it with Mike Coombs, and
Oh,
just
they're
holding
very-
onto them and pulling them, they're very heavy.
The new buoys that we are buying will be much better.
Karen, I think it's yours that's cutting everybody out.
I'm not even saying anything.
I'm hearing somebody. I don't know.
Not me.
Okay, no.
So I think the issue there, which we have some time to resolve it because it's at the end of the season that it needs to be resolved, is I don't know how we do this, but you know, it's not fair to ask Rick and whoever he might have, you know, grab to try to manhandle these buoys to get them over to the boat launch. So I'm not sure what we do, but we need some sort of help. And I think that help is probably not somebody on this call. We need bigger, younger, stronger or machines.
Question, and maybe you already do this. Is there some kind of a pulley system you could put on the boat to swing it over and pick it up?
Yeah, you're asking,
Kurt is going,
could you put a hoist on the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we have money for a trailer. And if you let me finish, we have money for a trailer that we would float them onto. So you never have to pick them up.
I
So they
I
would just get
that.
floated onto the trailer.
Dick, the issue is not once you've got them to the boat launch, it's getting them from the lake to the boat launch.
No, I'm
Guys,
saying,
you tie them to a rope, you drag them over, you tie them to the rope on the boat, and then you drive them to the boat launch. The
Right.
problem is pulling them, when you unhook them, they're very heavy and you have to
Oh, a
drag
lot of
them
the
over
water.
to the rope and then you have to tie them to the side of the boat and then you drive them in. They're very hard to handle. And then when you take them off the side of the boat, they weigh a ton. And I know exactly what Rick is talking about. You can screw up your back. Eric
What
hit
I'm
it on the
saying-
head. You need young, strong people to do it.
What I'm saying is if we go with the trailer, it's a long trailer. You back the trailer down into the slot and you just bring them around the dock and float them onto the trailer. You don't have to lift anything.
I get it. I get it. You got to drag them along though, still with a hook. You still have to drag them, and that's where people are
But-
getting pulling,
But you're-
especially
but
older
they're
guys.
floating, but they're floating.
I get it. I get it.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole key is keeping them floating. They don't weigh much when they're floating. They weigh a lot when they're not. So
I agree.
I've got to get on Kurt about finishing that trailer. So I will do that. And we do have, 6 months before we have to resolve this, but we got to keep thinking about it.
Yep.
And we can always use the DPW guys with equipment.
I think the other thing, Dick, is I noticed the last week when we put the docks in, that CRC had a lot of people show up that were young.
Yeah,
And they were helping me pull the chains. And frankly, that was the first time we did the docks that my back wasn't killing me.
Yeah.
They had 5 or 6 young guys there. And
yes,
Mike, you were there.
Yeah.
These guys helped us a lot.
they sure did.
And that's the thing that we need to do when we have Rick pull those out. We need to get those young guys from CRC there.
Yeah.
If we can.
And I need to get the names of everybody that was there. I know Scott was there. I know, Deb, if you can find out there was somebody that was new. I did not recognize.
Michelle's, I think her son, right?
So
Wasn't he there?
No, he was not there.
Oh, okay. I thought,
I'll
trying to
ask
think.
Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get me that'd be a big help, Deb.
Dick,
Appreciate
I'm gonna have to bail at 8 PM, which is just a few minutes away. What?
Yeah.
what
But
else
we
do
only have a
have?
couple things to quickly cover and then we're done.
okay.
So, we did, one was to just say, thanks to all, we did get all the docks in and I think we did really well with those. Nobody getting hurt. We had the right mass, young blood to help.
Mhm.
One thing I did think about is that long dock. I got an idea how to make it simpler. The one that's on the southern end, how to make that one simpler. So I'm going to play around with something over the summer.
Good.
And I think I can make up different cables. Okay. Short-term rental. You can read that on your own. 32 to 37. Something you want to think about because we've had all the discussions about too many boats on the water. So now short-term rentals, if you think about it, that could bring another pile of unseasoned boaters, unexperienced unseasoned boaters, because they can go rent a boat. There's a lot of places now that will rent those boats and they don't require, Massachusetts does not require a license to operate a boat. So now we can have that problem on top of it. So take a look at it. That's coming up for a vote at the annual town meeting. And, if you got questions, you got to get them to the planning board and select board if you got issues
Okay.
or things you want to see changed. Okay. And I think that's it. Let me see, anything else? Oh, I did include a copy of the electric rate aggregation. It's called page 39. That's kind of neat because that would allow all citizens of Southwick, all property owners of Southwick to take advantage of the lowest negotiated electric rate. So this is for the electricity part of it. It's not for distribution. It's the part
Okay.
that's the big, 25 cents a kilowatt hour for generation. It's that nut. So they can negotiate with all kinds of other sources. And the idea is if this passes at town meeting, that can be passed on to all residents. That's nice.
Okay.
So that's what that's about. You can read about it. I put in a thing about, just an FYI, Wreaths Across America is now available for our own cemetery. So if anybody has donated in the past, we couldn't donate to have wreaths put on the cemetery in town. You can only donate to the one in Agawam or the one in, where I forget what the other one is, in the eastern part of the state. So now you can donate wreaths to be put on the graves in town. So that's just an FYI. And I think that's it. Anybody else?
I do have one thing. Just bringing it up, not for discussion tonight, but we have a severe lack of winter snowpack.
Yes.
And we're gonna have to keep an eye on that with the lake, because I think come August, we're gonna be short on water.
I agree. So if anything, we should be running a little high.
We
if
know
we
what the
can.
level is now.
Yep.
I checked the level today and we're at 224 feet, 4 inches, which is just right down on the mark, about an inch above it. But that's lower than it was like 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna check it again tomorrow and see if I get a bit more accurate reading based on where the sun is hitting the stick. And see
Yeah,
if we gotta
I
do any
think-
changes to
Okay.
the rear gates.
So I had produced a chart, which Dick has a copy of, of suggested target levels based on the date of the year. And I think, as the point that Paul's making out, with the fact that we got basically no snow, we may want to right now try and run maybe an inch above those target rates that I had produced, because those were produced based on a statistical average. But we had a remarkably snow-free winter.
Yes. Just something to keep in the back of our minds.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
I
it.
agree. Yeah, if we could.
Somebody talking?
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Dick.
Hey,
Dick,
Dick?
Like he's frozen.
I think
Yeah,
he's
I said
you're right,
We can
John.
raise it like I think that's what Eric was suggesting.
Water's
I make a
fairly
motion,
low
we
now.
adjourn.
because
Yeah, Eric is frozen.
we can't hear you, Dick, so we might as well adjourn.
Yeah, we wanted to try and raise it an inch.
That'd be
Yeah.
good.
Yep, let's do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Good night, all.
Try and raise it. How about
I
now?
have to run.
Bye,
Okay,
Eric.
Thanks. Bye.
all right.
Thank
See ya.
you.
There's a reason we're all freezing at different times. Okay, anything else?
Oh,
That's
I'll
it.
make a mo-
Motion to adjourn?
Is everybody off? I can't. I'll make a
Can I-
motion Malcolm, to close.
Malcolm,
One second.
I'll second
To
it.
adjourn. Frozen.